we move to the next news video, and in this video I will break down a little bit more in depth about the WWE sale, but we'll save that for the end. As I mentioned, Asuka said something about letting the chaos loose and going back to Japan, or maybe going back to Japan. But I think maybe, this is what I thought was going to happen with Alexa Bliss, where Alexa Bliss was going to disappear for a bit and then come back. But I also thought that maybe Alexa Bliss would be the one that dethroned Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. But that's just that was just my opinion. I was wrong. For lack of a better word, I was wrong. And yeah. Fact of the matter is, Alexa had other things that she needed to do. Asuka, I honestly don't understand why Asuka didn't win, but I guess, I think that the reason why I don't understand why Asuka did, what happened at WrestleMania happened, is the fact that I'm just not used to WWE keeping keeping their keeping champions champion as long as they've been keeping champions champion. If that makes sense. But I guess we will see what happens tonight at WrestleMania. In the post-WrestleMania WWE. I hope everybody that was mentioned, I hope that there is more, and I expect there to be more from all these guys. And it just not be a cut and dry thing of so-and-so's leaving and they're done, that's it. That there's more to it than that. Because all three of the people that I mentioned, Drew, Bayley, and Asuka, still have a lot more to give to WWE and would be a big loss for the company if any of them or all three of them leave. Speaking of leaving, Brock Lesnar spoke to Daniel Cormier in the build-up to WrestleMania, and the Beast Incarnate went on record to say that basically, every time that I think that I'm done, every time that I think that I'm done, then I get in the ring, I get to the building, and that's part of the business that I really love. The business that I left early because I just didn't like to travel. I'm just a simple man. And it was just too much for me then, but I don't know. I don't know how much more that I don't know how long I'm going to be around for, I don't know how long I'm going to be around. I don't know that. I think there were some of us that spoke about Brock Lesnar possibly wrapping up sooner rather than later, because the real question is, what else does Brock have to do? Who else does Brock have to feud with? I know that who was it? Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre mentioned the possibility of, or the desire to have another match with Brock Lesnar. But other than Drew McIntyre, who else? Gunther? I think at this point everybody would love to see Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, because Gunther's on a level all his own. But the fact of the matter is, what else and who else is there left for Brock to do? Brock will never be, I don't think Brock should be or will ever be back in the world title picture, because he doesn't need the world title anymore. He doesn't need to be that main eventer anymore. WWE needs to build the main event around others and not Brock Lesnar. It's like WWE releasing Goldberg and moving on from the past. I'm not saying Brock Lesnar's done. I'm saying Brock Lesnar does not need to be that featured main attraction anymore. Even though every time Brock is on the card, he will draw a crowd. He will be that featured attraction, and he will be that person that gets people talking. last night being a perfect example when he fought Omos. But the fact of the matter is, Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be here forever. And I don't think he will be. I just don't think he will be. Jumping over to another company that we've spoken about a lot, and that is MLW, as Battle Riot 5 is right around the corner now. And as I've spoken about in the build-up to WrestleMania, I will preview Battle Riot and also Sakura Genesis. Both Battle Riot and Sakura Genesis will be taking place this weekend, as Battle Riot 5 has added a National Openweight Championship matchup. John Hennigan defending against Willie Mack and Leo Rush. This goes along with the Battle Riot 40-man Battle Royal. The Battle Riot 40-man Battle Royal. No holds barred. Weapons are allowed. And the winner of this Battle Royal will get a future championship title shot against Alex Hammerstone. Jacob Fatu and Ricky Shane Page will collide on the event. And Shingehiro Iri will defend his WXW Unified World Wrestling Championship against Calvin Takeman at the event as well. During the event. But also, War Chamber. MLW has War Chamber coming up as well. The War Chamber event will take place on April 6th, and we will also go over War Chamber on April 6th. So we still have a few events to preview in the coming weeks, as just because WrestleMania is over does not mean the big events have ended. I also just want to congratulate everyone inducted into the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame yesterday, as the second class for the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame was officially announced yesterday in Los Angeles during WrestleMania Night 2. But also we shift over as, according to a report from Fightful Select, the Dyad, the former Grizzled Young Veterans, requested their release from the company. Honestly, I'm not really sure why, but let's see what the report has to say. As I can understand it if they didn't necessarily approve of the turn. I mean, they've been featured on television. Maybe they just don't like the direction. Maybe they were promised to win. Let's find out. Fightful Select reported that Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed, the former Grizzled Young Veterans, have requested their release from WWE. The duo wrestled at Stand and Deliver. They were repackaged as a dyad and lined with Joe Gacy in the Schism. According to basically the reports from Fightful, there's not a lot known about the situation right now, or it doesn't seem like there's a lot known about the situation right now, as it seems to be very early in the process. But I mean, honestly, like I said, it could be anything as far as why they decided to leave. It could be anything as to why they decided to leave, or why they decided to request their release. But I mean, if you can't tell, I'm a little surprised by this, because I didn't expect of anybody that would request their release. I did not expect it to be the Grizzled Young Veterans, especially being that they're a tag team that has been featured on programming. But now let's break down a little bit more about what to expect now after WrestleMania, as everybody knows what comes next. It is the post WrestleMania WWE programs, which are the biggest programs for WWE throughout the year or during the year. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, expectations are high, and there's no way to tell what's going to happen tonight or on Friday for Raw and WrestleMania. But maybe a debut, maybe the announcement of the draft. We'll see what happens. Either way, tonight and Friday are 2 episodes of WWE programming you won't want to miss. And in my opinion, I would also say you won't want to miss this week's episode of Dynamite, because let's see if Tony Khan can deliver and get some attention back to AEW. Let's see if he can get some attention back to AEW, with WWE taking a lot of the attention during their biggest week in their calendar year. But also, let's break down some of the reports from from the updates on the WWE sale. Apparently, according to Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel and Vince McMahon have had a relationship for the better part of the last 20 years, and it played a part in the easy transition of the sale, which is something that I pointed out with NBC Universal and Comcast, with WWE having a previous relationship with them. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of the people that maybe WWE had a relationship with at Comcast and NBC Universal don't work there anymore. I mean, I'm not surprised that Emmanuel and Vince have had a long tenured relationship, as Emmanuel initially worked with previously his main business was representing sports athletes and actors and professional wrestlers. So he has worked with WWE in the past, and that makes sense. According to also another report, I believe that report was from I believe the report was from I apologize. The report was from Variety. The report was from Variety.com that the sale of WWE was agreed to in principle on night 1 of WrestleMania, and then that's why the announcement came on night 2, with the official report being on night 3. But the sale, before anybody gets excited about changes that might be made, the sale will be completed in the latter half of 2023, as there's red tape and paperwork that needs to be done, and just setting up the new publicly traded company, selecting the board of directors, everything else that needs to be done. So expect it probably in the fall or around SummerSlam for something to be announced as far as the next step for the WWE sale to Endeavor. But the sale is going to create a $21 billion collective, including WWE and UFC, under one brand, under one company, where basically Endeavor's going to own the publicly traded company, where it's like what's the right way to put it? It would be like, I don't want to say it's like WWE and NXT because you're comparing it developmental, but it's like main company is Endeavor, subsidiary is UFC, subsidiary is WWE. They have their part of the company is going to have one name. It's not going to be where UFC and WWE are one company. It's going to be where they're under one banner. And that's their branch of the company, to separate the company into multiple parts. So, any more information known, I will be jumping at the opportunity to report it to you. And basically, I really don't know what to say. This is something that I never thought would happen. But either way, I do appreciate the recent support and the continued support, and I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, and I will see you in the next video.